Hi everybody, Stephanie Craft here. It's been such a long time since I've made a video, so let's see if I can just wing this one. I want to talk about timelines. So in order to talk about timelines, I should explain what they are. um, so basically, we have many, almost like infinite realities, meaning that for every decision that we don't make, there's another one of us on another timeline, like it's a parallel reality or a parallel universe, making that other decision and living out that life stream or that timeline. So our consciousness is only focused on one timeline. Usually, right now things are kind of changing, so I'll talk about that later in the video if I remember. But so basically, we are living across multiple timelines, and usually we're only aware of one of them at a time. However, in order for our soul to gather as much experience from this life as possible, we're actually living out multiple scenarios. Okay, so that's pretty much the short version to understand what timelines are. Timelines can also be called, like I said before, alternate realities, alternate universes. And so, let's see, I have so much to say and I didn't think about it before I hit record. I thought, well, it'll just come to me as I'm talking, so I'm just going to let it, and I have no idea how to edit videos. I'm non-technical, so you're just going to have to bear with me on this video. So basically, we shift timelines by shifting our vibration. Shifting our vibration means changing how we feel. So if we're in fear, we're going to experience a timeline where what we fear manifests for us. So if we're fearing certain outcomes, we're actually creating those. If we shift our timeline, or if we shift our vibration to better feelings, such as hope or excitement, we're going to be experiencing a timeline where the things that we hope for or we're excited about begin to manifest. So we're in a time on Earth right now that is spectacular. I've been jumping timelines, and that's why I'm able to make this video, because I can actually talk about my experiences. You know, I was going to give a lot of background information on what timelines are, how we shift them, but I'm just going to go straight into a couple of recent experiences that I've had, so that you can understand how it manifests, and then I can go back and explain sort of, giving tips on how to choose your timeline. You can choose your timeline. Okay, so that's like the news of the day. You can choose your timeline. So it's basically whatever it is that you want, you can work toward that by shifting your vibration, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotion, your expectations to being on that timeline for those things to manifest. So it's kind of like what they taught in The Secret, but there's so much more involved in creating your timeline than just wanting something or thinking about it positively. So I'll just go ahead and explain a story that happened to me recently. I had the fire department came like a couple years ago to break into my balcony. I wasn't home, and there was no fire, but they thought there was. So I have a very sensitive smoke alarm, smoke detector, and I had done some sage smudging, and then there was just a little bit of smoke left in the air, and I left. I left my home, and my smoke detector went off. So the fire department had to respond, and they came, and my door was locked. So they put a ladder up to the balcony and broke into my balcony door to come into and they left me a note, and they explained everything. So I knew that they had been here, and I knew that my door was broken. So it's one of those sliding glass doors, which doesn't have a key. It's just one of these flip locks. And for the past couple of years, I've been thinking, gosh, I should probably really get that fixed. I've got an unlocked door here. It's not safe. But I procrastinate on stuff like that, and I don't really care about, I'm not like a fixer-upper person, so I just was like, I'll eventually get to it. But the other day, I opened the blinds to open the sliding door to get out on the balcony. Now, it has been broken this whole time. But the other day, there's a brand new lock on there, like a whole new handle piece with the new lock. Brand new, beautiful piece of equipment there that obviously I didn't put it on there. And I know that I did not ask anybody to come and fix it. I don't live in an apartment complex where the maintenance people are coming regularly. This is a condo where as the owner, you have to call to get anything done. They don't do like regular checks. So I know nobody came in while I was gone to do this. I don't even think I told anybody who at this condo place that it was broken. So I knew when I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm in a new reality. And I was planning on making a video on timelines. I actually posted it on Facebook that I'm going to start making videos on timelines. I want to start explaining some things about timelines, because after the election, I was noticing a lot of shifting timelines, and I'm going to talk about that later. But it was my impetus to say, okay, it's time for people to understand timelines so that you can choose a better one, because pretty much everybody wants to choose a better timeline now after this stupid election we had in the United States. So, yeah, that's thinking about all that threw me off track for a second. So I knew about these things. I just hadn't really experienced a physical manifestation of being on a new timeline where something in my world was noticeably different. And this was a really big one for me, because to have something like that, a brand new door, a brand new lock on my door, it made me feel so good, because it was like, wow, what I wanted is here. We can manifest what we want, and I didn't even have to do anything about it other than have the thoughts that I'd really like to have a lock on my door. So I literally jumped into a new timeline in order to have that be fixed, to have a new door lock. Another thing that happened before that, I don't know the timing, because I don't remember the last time I tried to open the door, so I don't know exactly the day that I jumped into that new timeline. But I do know another day recently that I shifted into a new timeline, which was I had done a session with a lady over the phone, and she emailed me the link. She recorded our call, and our call was 45 minutes. The recording was supposed to be 45 minutes, and I know that it was fully recorded because there's a voice on the phone that says this call is being recorded. So I knew it started at the beginning of the call. She emailed me the link to the call, and the link that I received was only an 8-minute call, 8-minute recording. So I emailed her and I said, I know our call was 45 minutes, but I only got 8 minutes. Do you have the rest of the call? And she went back to the recordings for that day to find mine, and she said, it's showing me no recordings for that day. Well, before I even emailed her, I already had this intuitive thought hit me that I'm on a new timeline now, and I'm not supposed to listen to that or focus on anything that she said. And I had asked questions about about Trump and his winning the election and certain things in the future and other things going on in the country and all kinds of different information. And I knew when I didn't receive the full call that I had shifted timelines and I wasn't supposed to focus on that, even though it had only been a few hours since our call. So when she checked, it verified for me that it didn't even exist. That call no longer existed on her recordings. So then I did a follow-up session with her and asked, because this was like an intuitive reading, and it's not even, it's coming through someplace very high with a lot of wisdom. And I asked, did I shift onto a new timeline? And that's why I wasn't allowed to listen to the old. And they said, yes, it's true. So, believe me or not, doesn't matter. But we have the ability to change our timelines. And right now, at this time, today is December 4th, 2016. And we're in a time right now on Earth where there are a lot of like nodes or choice points. This information isn't coming from anybody outside of me. I'm just going to give you my intuition about what's been going on, what I'm witnessing, and what's been happening. But there are these nodes of time, and it's hard for me to explain this in words to get it across. But humanity can choose timelines right now more than ever before, and it's probably going to be accelerating even more. It's already accelerating, has accelerated massively. So what I mean by this is there's a splitting, okay, on Earth for humanity that's happening. We changed timelines around the time of the election in a very good way. People might not realize that and don't look at it on the surface level of what's going on. That has nothing to do with it right now. There are deeper things going on that are very good. But the very important thing to know is that if you are focusing on a negativity, fear, and being upset, angry, and paying attention to the stuff that's going on in the news, for example, you're going to be headed down on that timeline where bad stuff, might happen. A lot of people after this election went that way. They went into anger, fear, being very upset, depression, all kinds of negative emotions. And there are other people who immediately felt the new timeline. It didn't even make sense to them why, but they were feeling incredible peace. And I will say that most of humanity did go into shock. And so people were having a hard time doing their lives. And so there was some paralysis while people were adjusting to this new timeline, because all of humanity shifted on a timeline around that time. And then on top of that, there were multiple timelines to choose beyond that. It's complicated, and I'm trying to explain it the best I can. But other people, like I said, people went into peace. Other people went into even a higher place of hope and happiness and relief and expectation of all good things to come. So, and of course there are things in between all of those three that I just mentioned, that because there are so many timelines that you can be on. In addition to the choice points right now, timelines are overlapping. So I'm witnessing people that are on a different timeline from me. And I'm also experiencing overlapping timelines within my timeline. Weird things are going on. And the people who are watching this video either are experiencing similar things, or they're ready to start becoming aware of these things, or some of them think I'm crazy and have no idea what I'm talking about, and they're just not maybe ready to be aware of certain things like this. So if you begin understanding that you can choose a higher timeline from the one you are on, then you know that you need to start working on shifting your vibration. So what that means is raising your emotions to higher states of being, happiness, joy. You can't necessarily jump from somewhere really low to those, but if you can slowly work yourself up or work your way up and change your thoughts and beliefs to what it is that you do want, start to understand that you are emanating your life. Your life is not some random occurrence outside of you. You're creating your reality. And so now is a ripe time to understand this and to create your reality. To the point where, okay, Trump won the election. I know it's crazy that he's our president, but understand that there are so many timelines within this world. There could be a timeline where he gets taken out by any means, and certain people will be living on that timeline. There are other timelines where other things happen, and certain people will be living on that timeline. There are other people where, he increases the economy and people become prosperous, and he cleans house like he said he would, and brings in people who are actually very good. We're not seeing that now. We're seeing something completely different. But there is a higher timeline in which there's actually a good outcome. So people are not aware of that if they're not on that timeline. But if you shift in the ways that I've been talking about, you'll actually experience a completely different reality. I'm literally talking about shifting into a new reality. You're not stuck in the one that you have. Just like my door. I mean, I fully expected to open up the blinds and see, the old one was like metal and old and rusted, and this new one is white, like plastic, very nice, like not, it's brand new. You can tell it's brand new. Before it happened, I didn't know that something like that was going to happen to me in my life. Meaning, I could look around in my home and have new things, and I didn't do anything to get them. But I'm talking about this because it's like right now it's so important for people to understand what's happening. I've never seen it before like this, where there is such a major splitting, and it's not just a two-way split with humanity. I'm seeing, some people going this way, 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 and I'm actually observing it, and I'm witnessing multiple timelines. I've never done that before. Well, maybe a few years ago I did it a little bit in like snippets, but nothing like this. So I'm just going to, I feel like I'm rambling at this point. I'm going to stop the video. I think I've given like a baseline information about what I wanted to talk about. I have some other things that I want to talk about that are even like way beyond choosing your timeline and stepping into a new reality. So the point I wanted to leave you with is that you can step into a new reality. Think about what you want. Think about how you want things to go. Have an expectation that it will go that way. Have hope. And if you find yourself going into fear or anger or anything like that, understand that you will be setting yourself up to be on a timeline where things that you fear will be manifesting for you. And you don't want those things. So just take this as a lesson to shift out of fear Okay, right now, if you do that, you are going to move yourself onto a higher timeline where better things are happening. You don't have to believe it. You may not understand it, what I'm talking about at all, but I know because I've experienced it and I've known about it through my studies and my own sort of, intuitive information that comes streaming through, because that's what I do for a living, and I do tune in a lot and I do receive a lot of information, and I have dreams that tell me things, which is something I want to talk about in another video, about a very important dream I had about stepping into new realities. So it's really exciting. I hope that you can jump onto some higher timelines, because those are more fun. And I'll see you soon. Bye.